Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing my mid-year book Freakout tag, which I'm super excited about because I really wanted to film this video last year, but I was just kind of getting into booktube then, so I hadn't really read enough books to really be able to do this properly. So this year I feel like I have, so let's just get right into the questions. So far this year I have read, I think, 108 books, which is more than I thought I was going to read in the entire year. My Goodreads goal was like 100 books for the year. I've already passed that, obviously, and so I'm hoping maybe to hit 200, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do like an end of the year. I'll probably do an end of the year wrap up. I've never done one of those before, but I'll probably do one this year. So anyway, let's get into it. So question number 1 is the best book you've read this year, and mine was definitely The Simple Wild. If you've been on my channel at all this year, you know that I love this book and will not stop talking about it. I'm obsessed with this book, and it's my favorite book of all time, probably will be for a very long time. So it's definitely the best book I've read this year. Question number 2 is the best sequel that you've read this year, and this one was kind of hard for me because I don't read a lot of books that really have sequels. I sort of read a lot of like companion novel series, so it seems sort of unfair to only qualify the second book in a companion novel series as the second. So I picked one of the few sequels that I did have, which was Us by Elle Kennedy and Serena Bowen, and I really love this whole series, like Him, Us, Epic, and like even the spin-off, like the WAG series. I love those as well. But Us was definitely one of my favorites. I often get worried when I read a book, like series about the same characters. I don't generally like the second book because I feel like the author has to sort of create conflict in a couple that you've already seen a happy ending for, and I don't really like that, but I did really like this book, so yeah, I'm gonna say Us for sure. It was definitely one of my favorites. Wild at Heart would probably be a close second. Next is a new release that you haven't read but want to. Mine would be Tryst 6 Venom by Penelope Douglas. I keep putting this one off because I wanted to get Kindle Unlimited for Prime Day when they have like the Amazon Prime Day sale for Kindle Unlimited, but Amazon Prime Day Canada got postponed because of the pandemic, because we've been having like a lot of issues here where the Amazon facilities, like the fulfillment centers, have been having to close, so they postponed our Prime Day, so I'm not sure when they're going to have that or when I'm going to be able to do that. Whenever they do, I will finally be able to read Tryst 6 Venom, and I am super excited for it. If you don't know, it is I think it's high school, I'm pretty sure, bully romance between two girls, which I'm really excited about. I think it's Penelope Douglas's first LGBT book, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it is. But I'm really excited for that one. Haven't gotten around to it yet because of the Kindle Unlimited situation, but really excited for it. Question number 4 is the most anticipated release for the rest of the year. I have a lot of books that I am like most anticipating for the rest of the year. One of my big ones would be The Legacy by Elle Kennedy, which is coming out sometime this fall, I'm pretty sure. I want to say September, but part of me is also thinking November, but I'm pretty sure it's September. And this is sort of like a Where Are They Now for the off-campus series, which I'm so excited about. And so that one's definitely one of my most anticipated. Also, anything by Helena Hunting is always on my most anticipated. So she's got Love Next Door that comes out in July, I'm pretty sure, which is kind of like a cottage, like small town like vibes book that I want to read. I think it's Enemies to Lovers too, which is like literally Helena Hunting just gets me, like she really does. And also When Sparks Fly, I believe, comes out in September. I'm hoping I'm right on these dates. I'm really just like guessing. And also today, like the day I'm filming this, Abby Glines announced that she's got a new book coming out on August 1st called, I think it's Lyrics of a Small Town, and it sounds so good. She says it's her longest book yet and also the steamiest, so I'm like really pumped for that book. It's also Small Town, which is like right up my alley, you know that. And so those are definitely ones that I'm really excited about that I haven't read because they haven't come out yet, obviously. Next is Biggest Disappointment, and I've had a couple of these this year. The first one was Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. You know, if you watched my wrap up, I believe it was my May wrap up, I talked about this book. I really didn't like this book. Not even that I didn't like it, I was just so underwhelmed after hearing it hyped up so much that I was like, really, this is it? Like, this is all that everyone's been talking about? And so that was like definitely a big disappointment for me. Also, The Tourist Attraction by Sarah Morgenthaler. I had heard that book, like, I've been hearing about that book since before I was even, like, into BookTube and stuff, so I was, like, really expecting something great, and I just found it went in a circle a lot where you would think the couple was sort of getting together, and then they would just be like, oh, but we're not because the girl's leaving. And they just went in that circle, like, over and over and over again throughout the book, and I was just like, I didn't feel like we were getting anywhere. So that one was kind of a letdown. And also The Vincent Boys by Abby Glines. You know I love Abby Glines, but this book was just something else. Man, like, I don't even know. It's been on my radar, the Vincent books together, since I started reading Abby Glines last year, and it just wasn't what I was expecting at all, so that was another disappointment. Next was Biggest Surprise, and for me, that was probably Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This book was another book that I saw everywhere, and no one really talked about how heavy this book was. Like, this book, definitely, like, look up the trigger warnings for this book if you're thinking of reading it, but it was not what I was expecting at all, like, to say the least. Like, it was very, I was expecting, like, a light, fluffy, like, sports romance, like, oh, she's dating a basketball player, whatever, but it was very much, like, dark, and not in, like, a dark romance kind of way, but just, like, dark, and I was just like, wow, like, I really was not expecting that from that book, so that was definitely probably my biggest surprise. Next is Favorite New Author, and for me, like, this was gonna be my favorite author in general because I haven't been in the book world for too long, but my favorite author right now is Helena Hunting, and I've decided that officially, like, a week ago. I was sitting thinking about it, that there is no other author that I have read, like, that many of their books and loved every single one. Literally everything Helena Hunting writes I have loved. I have never read one of her books and been like, wow, that was, like, okay. Like, they're all super, super good. Like I said, she just gets me. Newest fictional crush. You know, I couldn't just pick one of these because I basically only read romance, so obviously I'm gonna have a lot of these. The first one is Josh from The Hating Game. I just finished that book, so that's, like, really on my mind right now. But he's just so dang cute that, like, I can't with him. So he's definitely on there. Cam from Wait For You for sure is definitely on this list. I love him too. He's the cutest also. And Hayden from Clipped Wings by Helena Hunting. He's definitely, like, not, like, cute, but he is, like, perfect, basically. My newest favorite characters are Wes and Jamie. I couldn't just pick one of them because I literally love them both so much. They are the cutest. They are from Him by Elle Kennedy and Sarita Bowen, and Us in Epic. But I just, these were, like, those kind of characters that, like, you can't stop thinking about after you read the book. I literally, like, I think about them probably at least once a week, I would say, since I've read that book, and I just love them. I can't stop thinking about them. I also really, in general, love the characters from the Simple Wild series. Like, I love Jonah, Calla, the name of their neighbors, Agnes? I think that's what they call her. And Mabel, I think, is her daughter's name. I love them too. Literally all the characters in the Simple Wild books are so good. Next is a book that made you cry. I don't generally read books that make me cry because I really hate that. But I read two this year that did. One was Broken Night by L.J. Shen, and this one I should have known going into it that this was going to happen. But I'm dumb and I didn't see it coming, so this one was rough. And then the other one was Cruel Prince by A.J. Cruel Prince, like, really took me down. Like, when I was reading the book, I didn't cry, but I cried later that night after I finished it, and, like, the next morning I kept feeling like I was gonna cry. Like, it literally emotionally, like, drained me reading that book. And I think it might have been, like, a personal thing, that it was just, like, too close to home kind of thing, and it was just a lot. But it was definitely one that I would say, like, I said, I didn't cry reading it, but, like, afterwards I was just, like, distraught. Next is a book that made you happy. I'm gonna include The Hating Game again here because, like I said, I can't stop thinking about it. I was smiling a lot throughout this book because they were just so cute. And also The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren was super, super funny. That's what actually kind of opened me up to reading rom-coms. I'm not normally one to gravitate towards them, but that book made me be like, okay, like, maybe I could actually read some of these. And so those two books definitely were ones that I found myself like smiling the whole time I was reading the book. Next is The Most Beautiful Book You Bought This Year, and I've actually been trying to like lay off on the buying of books, especially for solely cover purposes. And so I haven't bought a lot of, I've bought a lot of books this year, that's a lie. But I haven't bought a lot of books for like cover purposes, but my favorite one that I have bought is Clipped Wings by Helena Hunting, and not even like for the front cover. Like the front cover's nice, I'll give it that. But I love the back cover because if you've read the book, I don't know if that's going to come out. If you've read the book, you know like the sort of symbolicness of the tattoo on the back of the book. And I read the ebook of this from the library before I bought this, and I had only seen the front cover, and so when I got this book in the mail and I saw the back, I was like, oh my god, it is so pretty. And I couldn't stop looking at it. I kept picking this up off my shelf just to stare at it because, I love this book to begin with, but the back is just so pretty. I love it. I love Helena Hunting. I love Clipped Wings. I love it all. Anyway, the last one is books I need to read by the end of the year. And there are obviously a lot of those. I actually have an entire list printed out of all the books I want to read before the end of the year. But the ones that I would most like to get to are the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas. This is one that I've been like looking at for a while, but it's just so long. Like even there's like one book in the series that's like 800 pages, I think. Or maybe it's 600, but that's still a lot. And I just keep looking at it and I'm like, I'm gonna need to set aside like a solid like 2 to 3 weeks to read that series, and I just keep not doing it, but I really do want to read it. So that's at the top of my list. I want to finish reading Helena Hunting's sort of backlist. I have to read the Shacking Up books is where I'm at now. I have to get through those. I think I've read all of her other books. I have to read her new books before the end of the year, obviously. One of Us is Lying is another one that I've had on my radar for a long time and keep putting off because I keep not wanting to read something that's not romance, but I figure maybe like in September, October I might be in the mood for this one, but it's definitely one that I really do want to get to this year. And the last one is Lyrics of a Small Town by Abby Glines, because like I said, I'm super excited for this book. So yeah, that's definitely one that I will probably read as soon as it comes out, which I don't do with many books, but I'm really like pumped up for this one. And so that is my mid-year Freakout tag. And so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I do new videos every single Saturday, and I will see you next time.